Good morning. We open the class of 2023 commencement exercises with an invocation offered by Oliver Goodrich, Director of the Rachel Lord Center for Religious and Spiritual Life.
Class of 2023, your time at Bowdoin has been a season of surprises. When you arrived on this campus a few years ago, who among you would have imagined the surprises that you would encounter during your Bowdoin experience? Perhaps you were surprised by the way a global pandemic upended business as usual and raised our collective consciousness to the fragility of life as we know it. Perhaps you've been surprised by the way your old hopes and dreams have gradually changed as you nurture newly discovered passions and talents. Perhaps you've been surprised by your encounters with the woods and waters that make up the state of Maine, whether the fleeting beauty of the fall foliage as it transitions from bright green to brilliant red, or the joys of swimming in the salt water off of the Schiller Center. Perhaps you were surprised by the people you encountered, the approachability and kindness and unexpected generosity of your professors, or the way that a question from a stranger led to a new lifelong friendship. Graduates, just as your time at Bowdoin has unfolded with countless surprises, so too will your life beyond Bowdoin undoubtedly contain events that you cannot now imagine. As you commence a new season of life today, I invite you to remember and savor the surprises that have shaped your time here, and to imagine and prepare yourself for the many possibilities that await you in your future. May you delight in discovering that your intrinsic worth is far greater than your earning potential or any professional accolade. May you relish the relationships that will form from the people you have yet to meet. And may you keep your heart open to the humor, the hardship, and the joys that flow from these new relationships. When you encounter injustice, may you find the moral imagination to respond with courage, conviction, and a renewed commitment to the common good. And when your life leads to failure or disappointment, may you be surprised by the gifts of forgiveness, humility, and lifelong learning. Dear graduates, may your future be full of surprises. May it be so.
The Star-Spangled Banner will be performed by vocalists from the class of 2023.
Please be seated. Good morning, everybody. As I walked over here from the hotel this morning and I saw them selling sun hats, I said, you know it's a spectacular day on the Bowdoin campus when we're selling sun hats. I am Scott Perper, a member of the class of 1978 and chair of the Bowdoin College Board of Trustees. On behalf of all of the trustees, it is my honor to welcome everyone to the 218th Commencement of Bowdoin College. This morning, we gather to honor the members of the class of 2023, who soon will be graduates of one of the most distinguished colleges in the country. Seniors, I suspect it seems like just yesterday that you are arriving to this magnificent campus as new members of the Bowdoin community, full of anticipation, bursting with energy, excited about what the next 4 years would bring. Despite how fast the years have gone, I hope the offer of the college held true, and you feel you indeed now carry the keys of the world's library in your pocket, and have made a host of friends that will last a lifetime, and together with them, during your time at the college, made countless enduring memories. 45 years ago today, I was sitting where you are now, listening to the person who is now me, in disbelief as to how quickly my 4 years at Bowdoin had flown by. And while I may have been working with very little sleep on that morning, in fact, probably none, I remember it like yesterday. And just as your last 4 years have gone by quickly and seem like yesterday, the last 45 years now feel like they have gone by just as quickly for me. And that is an important life lesson. Time passes by quickly while memories endure. In fact, time is your most valuable asset. I urge you to use it wisely. Don't waste a minute. Go out into the world, work hard, generate new precious memories like today, whether it is through your job, attending graduate school, building a family, having life adventures, or wherever your dreams may take you. Create remembrances that you carry throughout your life and that give you a deep sense of accomplishment, pride, and most importantly, happiness. Next month, it will be 229 years since Bowdoin College was chartered. And in all those years, this moment has only occurred 14 times. The moment when we say goodbye to the president of the college. I want to, on this, his last commencement, offer my sincere appreciation to Clayton for his 8 years of ceaseless dedication, total commitment, and thoughtful leadership as our 15th president. As I have previously told you, Clayton, you were exactly the right leader for your moments at Bowdoin. Thank you. And thank you, Julianne, for all your incredible efforts, both visible and behind the scenes. You make things happen, and always for the better. Can we now give both Clayton and Julianne a big round of applause? These are not the final words about Clayton. More for him later in the ceremony. As you all know so well, Maine and Bowdoin are inextricably linked, and so it is customary at commencement for the college to invite a representative of the state to bring greetings to our seniors. This morning, we have the privilege of hearing from Joan Benoit Samuelson, a member of the Bowdoin College class of 1979, a fellow trustee, a friend of mine for almost 50 years, and as you may know, quite the runner, which is an understatement if ever there was one. Joni, as she is affectionately known, is one of the most decorated runners in the world and the most recognizable athlete in Bowdoin's history. A native Mainer and a passionate advocate for her home state, she grew up in Cape Elizabeth. Her father was a member of the Bowdoin class of 1943, and Joni came to Bowdoin with a love for running. While still a student, she won the Boston Marathon in 1979. She won the Boston Marathon again in 1983, setting a course record in the process that stood for 11 years. In 1984, she made history by winning the gold medal in the inaugural Women's Olympic Marathon in Los Angeles. The following year, she won the Chicago Marathon, again setting an American record, won the Sullivan Award, given to the top U.S. amateur athlete, and was awarded the Bowdoin Prize, the college's highest honor. And in 2019, she not only won her age group in the Boston Marathon, but she also finished within 30 minutes of her winning time 40 years earlier. And in 1997, Joni founded the TD Beach to Beacon 10K road race and is chair of its board of directors. The race, set in her hometown, attracts the world's elite runners and has received awards for its environmentally sustainable operation. Last year at this time, Joni was here on the museum steps accepting an honorary degree. We're delighted to welcome her back today to deliver this year's Greetings from the State of Maine. Please join me in welcoming Joan Benoit Samuelson.
Ahoy, students, family, and friends. On this absolutely stunning Maine morning, on the ancestral and unceded land of the Wabanaki, I would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to the Bowdoin class of 2023 for their many accomplishments, contributions, and deeds well done while serving the common good as students. Greetings of gratitude to all the honorands with us here today, whose singular and selfless dedication to their professions and institutions have inspired many and enriched Bowdoin and the world beyond. Their passion and contributions run as deep and bold as any of the many rivers in our great state. The rivers, running from the mountains to the sea, help to create a uniquely distinguished landscape that has been hiked, biked, paddled, swum, run, skied, sailed, explored, and played upon by so many of this year's graduating class. Legend has it the Bowdoin Sun originated when the college was founded in 1794. At that time, it was the easternmost college in the United States, and therefore the first college to greet the sun. How appropriate the Wabanaki, the people of the first light, called this sacred space Dawnland. Today we celebrate the dawn of your life after Bowdoin. Many of you will go forth from here to help preserve not only the fresh beauty of Maine, but the health and future of our global environment. Your creativity, conviction, work ethic, and wisdom will be embraced by all of us in our collective search for solutions to stem the omnivorous tide of climate change. Maine has been the dawn of a new life for many new Mainers. Just as you have found a home here at Bowdoin while pursuing your personal dreams, our hope is that our new Mainers will also feel at home here. As our offer of the college states, may you feel at home in all lands. As you launch from here, regardless of where you light, may you feel at home with the experiences, knowledge, memories, and friendships you carry from this special place. To the class of 2023, who held steady at the helm during the raging, menacing, and unexpected storm of COVID, and to President Rose, who charted a course with intellectual fearlessness and empathy, thank you and congratulations. Remember the Maine, and remember Bowdoin, and very importantly, you can get here from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni. It's incredibly special to have you offer the greetings from the state of Maine for what is my last commencement. Sadly, there are no cannons this morning either. That was a joke. Come on. Okay. So good morning to my classmates, the class of 2023. And welcome to our honorands, to our trustees, to our faculty, staff, alumni. Welcome to our Brunswick neighbors. And welcome especially to family and friends who are here to celebrate on this joyous occasion. Thank you for traveling from all parts of our country and all parts of the world to be here on the absolutely beautiful campus of the college that we love. And to our graduates, my classmates, one journey ends today and another begins for you and for me. And so to all, welcome to this glorious celebration. This is our 218th commencement. In 1806, when our first commencement took place on these grounds, Thomas Jefferson was in the White House. Congress was only in its 9th term, and it would be 3 years before Abraham Lincoln was born. And while the designs of campus have changed a touch, Massachusetts Hall, just over there, our first building was standing. Very few institutions are as durable as Bowdoin, a place that embraces both change and a steadfast commitment to our core values as essential elements in providing a great liberal arts education. Now, to class of 2023, I'd like to ask you to stand and turn and face your parents, your family, friends, those who love you. Consider all that they have done for you to help you get here today, and give them a big round of thanks, for applause for thanks. And a shout out to your faculty and the staff at Bowdoin here as well. Please sit. I also want to add my great thanks and that of Julianne to our faculty and staff here at Bowdoin. You've been fantastic colleagues, and every day in countless ways, your work makes Bowdoin the special college that it is. Thank you for everything that you have done for Bowdoin and for your partnership and your friendship to the both of us over these past 8 years. So class of 2023, 4 years later, here we are. I stood right about here. You sat right about there. And it was a beautiful August evening, and we came together for the first time. Now, yesterday at Baccalaureate, in addition to talking about cannons and bear wrestling, I talked about the historic and historically difficult challenges that you faced, and the strength and the character and the skills that you have built to allow you to overcome so much during the last 4 years. This morning, I want to share two other thoughts with you. The first is about what it means to be a Bowdoin graduate, and the second is a personal reflection that I've shared with each class in my time here. Over the past few months, we've seen recent graduates of the college live their principles under difficult circumstances, and in one case, surrendering freedom to an oppressive regime in service of these principles. I'm talking, of course, about Evan Garskovich, class of 2014, and Justin J. Pearson, class of 2017. Facing difficult circumstances, Evan and Justin provide examples of believing in something and staying true to those beliefs, even in the face of intense criticism, of threats, and in Evan's case, of the complete loss of his freedom under terrible circumstances. They are models of dignity, of principle, of strength, in service of the common good. Now, as many of you have no doubt read over the last week, Evan's pretrial detention has been extended 3 more months, and he continues to be denied access to U.S. consular officials. It is hard for any of us to imagine the nightmare that he is living through and that his parents are going through. And we all very much hope that Evan is home soon. We're grateful for the work that's being done at the highest levels of the U.S. government to attain his release, and we hope that this attention is unflagging for as long as it takes. We've been inspired by the amazing outpouring of the support by the Bowdoin community, on campus by so many of you, and among our faculty and staff, and by our alumni and parents around the world. And we've been inspired by those in the media who are keeping Evan and his situation in full view of the world. Among them are Andy Sir, class of 1981, a trustee, and Lucy Gilmore, a parent, both here today. Thank you. To support Evan, have a look at the story pinned to our homepage, or visit freegarskovich.com on the web. And I'd like to ask everyone here today to do something to show Evan our support and our love for him this morning, something that can be heard through the walls of that prison in Moscow. Let us give Evan a standing ovation, Bowdoin style, please. Please keep Evan in your thoughts and your hearts. Now to my personal reflection, one that I've shared with each graduating class in my time as president, and it reflects something of what Oliver and of Scott's remarks, and it is about your happiness. Your happiness will have nothing to do with your GPA or the fancy titles you have or the money that you might make. It is all about your heart and your soul. In particular, find and nurture those special relationships that make you whole. Find those people who will love you completely and without question, and they are out there, and give them the same. Grow the friendships and relationships that draw out the best in you, and those who love you for who you are and who are there for you as you are for them. These are magical and life-changing. No amount of money, no material symbols of success can come close to the satisfaction that will come from these special relationships. And nothing else, nothing will sustain you in the same way or make your life as good. And on that note, and as I prepare to depart Bowdoin, I want to thank my wife and my partner, Julianne, for all that she has done for me and for our family and for over the last 8 years for Bowdoin College. Often quietly behind the scenes, she is not someone who likes the spotlight, but the truth is that whatever I've accomplished in my time here and in my life was only possible and only meaningful because of her. I love you, babe. Class of 2023, congratulations on your simply remarkable achievements at a historic time. We cannot wait to see what you do. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce the first of our 2 student speakers this morning, who were selected by a committee of faculty, staff, students on a competitive basis. The winner of this year's Class of 1868 prize is Ethan McClear. Ethan is a religion major. Shout it out. Ethan is a religion major from Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. He's been involved with a variety of student groups, clubs, and teams during his time at Bowdoin. He says the 2 experiences in particular stand out for him because they're communities in which he has both found his voice and been heard. One of these was the Bowdoin Symphony Orchestra, led by George Lopez, someone Ethan describes as a teacher and a friend. And the other is Bowdoin's Philosophical Debate Society, the Pusinian Society. Ethan says both groups are serious, love-filled communities, and each has given him the great gift of friendship, through the pursuit both of musical excellence at one end and on the other through rigorous discussion of the important questions around living and our existence. He counts his time with the Pusinians among the Bowdoin experiences that most surprised him. When he arrived back on campus for his junior year, he said he resolved to search more actively for his place at the college, vowing to follow that thread wherever it led. And it was in that semester that he discovered the Pusinian Society, and at the same time, at his grandmother's suggestion, always a good idea to listen to your grandmother, he signed up for a class in constitutional law. And Ethan says he could not have known that that one class would lead to 2, and then 3, and then 4. And that third government class, Gene Yarborough's class on classical political philosophy, would be for him at once the most difficult and the most rewarding course that he's taken at Bowdoin. The opportunity to consider the most fundamental political questions and the friendships he's made through the Pusinian Society have changed him in ways he could not anticipate. Ethan is currently in the interview process for year-long positions with Quaker Volunteer Service and is also considering teaching in a non-traditional school community center in Dali, China. This morning, he'll be sharing with us a little bit more about the struggles and successes he's had in finding his place over these last 4 years. His talk today is called Let College Change You. Please give a warm welcome to Ethan McClear.
President Rose, members of the college, esteemed faculty and guests, and members of the class of 2023. It is an honor and a pleasure to address you all today. Class of 2023, we made it. Each of us deserves to celebrate today. When we arrived as first years, none of us could have imagined the challenges we'd overcome to be here today, whether they were personal struggles or the collective loss the pandemic caused us. For many of us, these challenges began on move-in day, if not before. Perhaps you wondered, as you met your roommates and made your way through orientation, how you'd figure this place out, what place you would make for yourself here, who you would become, and whether you measured up. I remember a Russian literature course I took that first semester. I remember watching the junior and senior majors make those trademark backflip, slam dunk, triple sow cow Bowdoin student comments. And I remember thinking, whoa, so this is college. Taking academic risks at Bowdoin is not easy. At a place where everyone is wicked, wicked smart, it takes courage to put yourself out there. And in my first year here, I closed up and I held back. I felt intellectually outclassed, and I masked that fear, that intimidation, that doubt with arrogance. I didn't know how I would change if I truly engaged with Bowdoin, and I didn't know whether I would love or hate the person I'd become if I did engage, as Bowdoin asked. But I hardly had time to worry about these questions before we were all sent home in the spring of freshman year to figure out Zoom and Microsoft Teams. Stressing over who the smartest kid in class was irrelevant because no one talked in those Zoom classes. When I returned to campus in the spring of sophomore year, the twice-weekly walk to Morrill to get tested became my social time. Talking with people in line, fully masked, 6 feet apart, was intimacy itself compared to the previous year of isolation. For our class, getting to know each other, forming a community, and working out those questions of belonging and becoming, all this was delayed. Many of us, myself included, arrived at campus to begin junior year still working through our first year anxieties. Back at the very beginning of our first year, at the cookout out back of Farley, Mike Woodruff, the director of the Outing Club, had told us that we could leave a mark on Bowdoin in our 4 years here. If we had a vision, he told us, we could pursue it here, and we could change this place. But changing Bowdoin, that's only half of the equation. The college offers us a transformative education with abundant support, from our pre-major advisors to free post-graduation career guidance. But in return, Bowdoin demands our active engagement. To make the most of a Bowdoin education, we must extend our trust. We must allow ourselves to be changed. It was only in the summer before junior year that I grasped this unwritten contract, if you will, when I gave my sister some advice, as she was about to begin college herself. I told her, let college change you. It's funny what can happen when you follow your own advice. In junior year, I decided to seek out my place here. That is to say, I decided to let Bowdoin change me. And that year, I discovered the government department, which opened a new way of thinking about my religious studies major. Outside the classroom, I felt the thrill of racing with the men's cross-country team, the thrill of performing with the college orchestra, the thrill of participating in weekly disputations with the Puccinian Society. By diving into my studies in the classroom and beyond, I began to meet, not simply observe with suspicion, but truly come to know many of you who had once intimidated me. Now I call some of you friends, and you inspire me. In junior year, I said hello to Bowdoin for the first time, and I realized that Bowdoin had been saying hello to me all along. I realized that Mike Woodruff had been right. I could change Bowdoin, but not until I let Bowdoin change me. Friends, college is now behind us. The world beckons, and this principle holds. As we turn to our future pursuits, know that each of us will at some point be intimidated by the strengths and talents of our friends and coworkers. The show of character is in how we respond. In every moment of doubt and every pang of fear lies an opportunity to grow. Ask, listen, open yourselves to meet those who intimidate you. Do not ask, as I once did, what can I take from you? Or how do I measure up? Ask instead, with curiosity, what can I learn from you? And with humility, how can I change? There is nothing passive about opening yourself to new experiences. To allow yourself to be changed is an act of faith and a show of strength. Class of 2023, we are primed to change the world. As we begin the next phase of our lives, let's also choose to allow ourselves to be changed. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ethan. Wonderful, wonderful words, those two. I'm now delighted to introduce Ayana Opong Nantachi. Ayana won this year's Goodwin Commencement Prize. Now, I have a little news, which is that Ayana is suffering from laryngitis, and I believe you're going to give a go, but is going to be supported by her honors thesis advisor, Professor Judith Castleberry. And they'll double team. So let me introduce Ayana, and then the two of them will come to the stage. So Ayana grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, majored here in Africana Studies and Economics, and minored in Hispanic Studies. But her friends think that she's actually taken a class in almost every discipline here, even enrolling in 5 courses a semester because of her curiosity for knowledge and her desire, for knowledge. It's important to note, however, that no matter how busy Ayanna has been, she's always found time to help her peers with their studies, steering them towards an understanding of the material with an unwavering patience and a sense of calm. Now settle in for a lengthy list of activities that Ayanna has participated in at Bowdoin. She says each has been an extremely meaningful part of her journey here. She was captain of the women's swim and dive team and has been a member of the outdoor track and field team. Head proctor for Res Life, a leader in the Athletes of Color Coalition, Black Student Union, Christian Student Association, and multilingual Mainers. She participated in the Bowdoin Public Service in Washington and the McKean Center Alternative Spring Break programs. She received a Bowdoin Public Service Fellowship to work for the town of Topsom in the summer of 2021, and her other jobs have included swimming instructor, senior class agent, CXD boot camp assistant, Bowdoin dining assistant, and athletics fitness senator monitor. And this year, Ayanna was one of 2 students who was selected to receive by the President's Award for her enormous contributions to the college. Ayanna studied away in Cali, Colombia. She became fascinated with ways in which Black identity is projected and embodied. Her experience was so significant there that when she returned, she continued researching the subject in an honors project with the Africana Studies Department. Her project focused on how the perspectives of African-descended Colombians shaped Law 70, a 1993 policy that officially recognized Afro-Colombians as an ethnicity and provided legal foundations for their territorial rights. This winter, she returned to Colombia to do more research with funding from the Allen Wells Travel Research Grant and the Randy Steakman Research Award in Africana Studies. She spent last summer working at Morgan Stanley, and upon graduation, she begins a job in Chicago at Kaufman Hall. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Ayanna Opong Nantachi.
President Rose, members of the college, and guests, I am honored to have this opportunity to speak with you all on this special day. The late Dr. Maya Angelou proclaimed, "I learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually make the right decision." That is how I decided to apply to Bowdoin, with an open heart. I stepped on campus for a recruiting visit in the fall of 2018, and the campus quad was populated with trees dressed in beautiful orange and yellow leaves. I remember the cool, crisp air, the walk on Main Street, and the sweet taste of gelato fiasco. Most importantly, I remember the people. I remember the kindness my host, her friends, and teammates showed me. I remember the smiles and the laughs in the dining hall as people conversed with friends. The Bowdoin community revealed an openness that I try to replicate in every opportunity. Graduates, in our Bowdoin experience, we have had to make many decisions about what classes to take, whether to eat at Moulton or Thorne when the pub is the obvious choice, what to do on the weekends and what not to do on the weekends. When I decided to open my heart to make the most of my experience, I became involved in organizations across campus. Over the years, I served as a head proctor, a captain of the Women's Swim and Dive team, a leader in the Athlete of Color Coalition, Christian Student Association, and Black Student Union, among other organizations. That decision led me to form strong relationships with many of you. It allowed me to share in the many laughs and conversations that I saw when I stepped on campus and decided with an open heart to make this place a part of my story. However, difficult experiences like the COVID-19 pandemic challenge us to reflect on our past and provoke us to choose how we will persevere in the journey ahead. I remember my sophomore year when a majority of our grade was off campus due to the pandemic. Like many of you, that was a transformative part of my Bowdoin experience. In the fall, I was a proctor on campus with very few upperclassmen to introduce first-year students to Bowdoin. My peers and I collaborated as unlikely leaders to best support one another and our residents. As I stepped into this role, I remembered the unlikely leaders in my family. I thought of my mother's sacrifices as a single parent and how she opened her heart to the responsibility of being the best leader she could for her daughters. I considered my late grandmother's decision to open her heart in hope of possibilities beyond home and leave her family in Alabama towards the end of the Great Migration in pursuit of economic opportunities in New York City. We all have circumstances out of our control that create opportunities for us to open our hearts and be leaders in our own ways. Class of 2023, we are gathered here today because of our decision to open our hearts and keep pushing forward in our pursuit of learning. But let us not forget that we are also here today because of the decisions of others who have supported us not only throughout our Bowdoin experience, but in our life's journey. Thank you to everyone who has left a positive impact on each of us. Now, it is our time to embark on this next phase of our life with open hearts. Our journey ahead will reflect aspects of our Bowdoin experience, the values of collaboration, kindness, and support. Bowdoin is not the buildings, majors, and activities, but it is each of our open hearts that connect our learning to forthcoming opportunities. Let us all remember the kind, open hearts we met at Bowdoin and strive to embody them in the future. Dr. Maya Angelou celebrated the open heart, but that did not make life easy for her. Likewise, our open hearts will not always make our lives easy. She also wrote, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide to not be reduced by them." Therefore, I encourage you, the class of 2023, to continue to make the most of your experiences with open hearts. May we all embrace the opportunities that can help us grow as leaders. With grace and excellence, it is our time to exit these Bowdoin gates as alumni, equipped not only to dream big, but to act big in all our power, leaving a positive impact on the world. Thank you and congratulations.
Mr. President, the President and the Board of Trustees have voted 5 honorary degrees to be awarded in accordance with the authority vested in you by the Board. As Chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Stephen F. Gormley.
Stephen F. Gormley, Businessman and philanthropist, we honor you today for your innovative spirit in the field of finance and for your remarkable generosity and service to various organizations, most notably this college. Born in Holton, Maine, you grew up amid the potato farms of Aroostook County. Matriculating at Bowdoin in 1968, you majored in government and legal studies, played on the golf team, and graduated, along with Barry Mills, in 1972. After working for a few years at First National Bank of Boston, you went on to earn an MBA at Columbia University in 1978. You then joined Tucker Anthony Associates in Boston, a leading firm in the early days of venture capital. In 1986, you co-founded Media Communications Partners, now known as MC Partners, a private equity firm focused exclusively on media and telecommunications. And in 1999, you co-founded another private equity firm, Great Hill Partners, where you were responsible for general management and investment policy until your retirement in 2011. Outside of a remarkably successful business career, you have given generously of your time and money to Bowdoin. You served on Bowdoin's Board of Trustees from 2001 to 2021, and as chair of the board from 2010 to 2013. But that's just the beginning. In addition to chairing the Financial Planning Committee from 2005 to 2008, you served on the Admissions and Financial Aid, Audit, Governance, Development and College Relations, Facilities and Properties, Gift Acceptance, Information Technology Advisory, Investment, Resources, and Student Affairs Committees. You were also a member of the Campaign Planning and Steering Committees for the Bowdoin Campaign and chaired your Reunion Gift Committee as well. In 2009, you established the Gormley Career Services Endowment to support the operations of the college's Career Service Center, now known as CXD. Not forgetting your roots, you have established and supported several scholarship funds for students from Aroostook County and around Maine. As impressive as these contributions to your alma mater are, you are no doubt most proud of having 3 daughters graduate from Bowdoin: Margaret in 2006, Kate in 2009, and Caroline in 2011. For all of these contributions, we are most grateful. President Rose, on behalf of the college, I am honored to present Stephen F. Gormley for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Stephen F. Gormley, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I grant to you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations, Steve. Excellent. Yeah.
As chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Navarana Javiak Sorensen.
Hi, Navarana. Can't see you, but I know you're out there. Navarana Javiak Sorensen, cultural ambassador, curator, and translator, traditional drummer and distinguished elder of Northwest Greenland Inuit community, loving mother, grandmother, and friend. Bowdoin College honors you today for your capacity to navigate among cultures and willingness to facilitate the work of Arctic researchers, engage with students, and educate people around the world about Inuit traditions. Born in Uummannaq, Northwest Greenland, you were schooled in your home country and in Denmark, lived in Canada, and have traveled throughout the world. You are a descendant of a Baffin Island shaman, Kidlarswak, who in the 1850s gathered approximately 50 Inuit and spent 10 years traveling from Canada to Northwest Greenland, having heard about a people living in this distant land. You have commented that your curiosity, interest in traveling throughout the world, and delight in meeting people from different cultures may be traced back to Kidlarswak, your great-great-great-uncle. Your family connections to Bowdoin College run deep. Your great-uncle, Uta, was like a grandfather to you, a highly respected hunter. He was the most accomplished Inuit who helped Robert E. Peary, class of 1877, in his efforts to reach the North Pole. Your parents began working with Donald McMillan, class of 1898, on his 1923 expedition to Ellesmere Island and Northwest Greenland, and they maintained a lifelong friendship with him. You have worked with Jenny Lemoyne, curator of Bowdoin's Arctic Museum, and have shared your knowledge of Inuit culture with Bowdoin's faculty, staff, and students. Since your childhood, you have seen your world change dramatically. When you were a child, your life was disrupted when your family was forced to move from Umanak to make way for the U.S. Thule military base. You have learned to live in a world in which you are equally at home, traveling by dog-drawn sled and in an airplane. You have navigated massive foreign cities while treasuring an Inuit life based on living off the bountiful resources offered by Arctic ice, land, and sea. As a result of global warming, your beloved Northwest Greenland paradise is being transformed by melting permafrost, receding glaciers, and thinning sea ice. On this shifting ground, you have counseled us to question whether what is termed progress is always improvement, and have urged us to hold on to traditional ways that are effective, efficient, and sustainable as we navigate this changing world. With grace, humor, generosity, and kindness, you share your expertise and insights. And for all of this and all that you have accomplished, we thank you and honor you. Kunayak. President Rose, I am honored to present Navarana Kakviak Sorensen for the degree of Humane Letters honoris causa.
As you can tell, and as Susan mentioned, Navarana is not with us. She is live streaming in from Denmark. Navarana, we miss you and wish dearly that you were with us, but we know you're with us in spirit. And now, Navarana Haviak Sorensen, by the authority vested in me by the Bowdoin College Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. Congratulations.
As chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present, for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Robert F. White.
Robert White, entrepreneurial executive, political counselor and wingman, philanthropist, educator, we honor you for your service to your community, your country, and not least your college. You came to Bowdoin from working-class Woburn, Massachusetts, as a first-generation student majoring in economics and mathematics in the class of 1977. Here, you bridged the divides between campus cliques and plugged the gap between the goalposts. You won not just the ECAC Ice Hockey Championship, but prestigious leadership posts and magna cum laude honors, too. Soon a CPA and then an MBA, you joined Bain Consulting and were the first to join Willard Mitt Romney as he launched the new Bain Capital in 1984. That professional and personal partnership would ultimately enter the political arena and cross a vast terrain of public policy and public service, including stops at the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics, the Massachusetts State House, and then the national hustings. As Governor Romney's presidential campaign chair, you were lauded as his wingman in the war room, expert, trusted, calm, discreet. In 2008, you said you were on your, quote, fifth once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with Mitt. And this before you helped him win 61 million votes 4 years later as the Republican nominee for President of the United States. Since 2014, you have been a professor at your other alma mater, Harvard Business School, teaching in the Entrepreneurial Management Unit while serving on numerous nonprofit and company boards. Throughout, your love of this college has been transformative, most crucially for the innumerable students for whom your leadership and remarkable generosity have underwritten their own once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Through 3 decades on the Board of Overseers and the Board of Trustees, you helped Bowdoin grow and prosper. Your capstone service as chair of the trustees required all your managerial and, yes, wingman acumen to help pilot the college safely through the existential turbulence of a global pandemic. The book of Proverbs tells us that wisdom is supreme. Therefore, get wisdom. It is no coincidence that so many individuals and institutions have found that to get wisdom, they should get Bob White. Bowdoin is so very grateful it has received the fullest measure of not just your wisdom, but of your energetic devotion and beneficence as well. President Rose, on behalf of the college, it is my honor to present Robert F. White for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Robert F. White, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, it is my great honor to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
As chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Janet Yang.
Today, we honor Janet Yang's achievements as an award-winning film producer, president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, and fierce advocate for the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. The daughter of Chinese immigrants living in Queens, New York, you earned a Bachelor of Arts in Chinese Studies from Brown University and an MBA from Columbia. From the start of your career, you have been committed to opening networks of distribution and production between the American and Chinese film industries. Your first position was with World Entertainment in San Francisco, a company dedicated to marketing Chinese cinema in North America. Soon afterwards, you proved invaluable to Steven Spielberg as a consultant on his 1985 historical film, Empire of the Sun. As president of Ixtlan, a company you created with director Oliver Stone, you were the executive producer of award-winning films, including The People vs. Larry Flynt and The Joy Luck Club, an adaptation of Amy Tan's celebrated novel about intergenerational Chinese-American families. Throughout your illustrious career, you have produced numerous visual narratives in or about China, including Dark Matter, the romantic comedy Shanghai Calling, the animated film Over the Moon, and High School Musical China. You are a founder of Gold House, a nonprofit collective whose mission it is to power and propel Asian American communities across every corner of culture. A member of the Committee of 100, an organization of Chinese Americans dedicated to the spirit of excellence and achievement in America, and chair of the U.S.-Asia Entertainment Summit for the Asia Society, Southern California. Named one of the 50 most influential women in Hollywood by The Hollywood Reporter, you were appointed president of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences in 2022. You are the first Asian American person and the fourth woman to hold this position. When asked in an interview about these firsts, you responded, "Yes, I am the first, but that wasn't the goal. The goal was to create community, bring different marginalized communities into the mainstream, and allow more and more people to have a sense of belonging." President Rose, on behalf of the college, I'm honored to present Janet Yang for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Janet Yang, by the authority vested in me by the Bowdoin College Board of Trustees, it is my great honor to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you for honoring us. This is going to be awkward. Where's Jan? Jan's right there.
As chair of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, Clayton S. Rose.
Step over. Clayton Rose, business leader, sociologist, faculty member, and college president, Bowdoin College honors you today for your steadfast commitment to the power of a liberal arts education, your exceptional financial stewardship, your purposeful leadership in the most challenging of times, and your consistent and passionate devotion to this small college in Maine. You grew up in California and attended college at the University of Chicago, graduating with a bachelor's and master's degree in business administration. You then pursued an enormously successful career in leadership and management and finance, culminating as vice chairman and chief operating officer at J.P. Morgan. The pull of the academy remained strong through it all, so after 21 years, you left the world of business to study sociology, with a focus on the role of race in corporate institutions, completing a master's degree and a PhD at the University of Pennsylvania. You took that learning to Harvard Business School, where, as a professor of practice for 8 years, you taught and mentored students, some soon to enter the business world and others seasoned in their professional lives, challenging them to explore ethical practices and to develop their own leadership in the many worlds they inhabit. In 2015, you became the 15th president of Bowdoin College, and in the 8 years since, you have had a profound impact on this place, establishing the largest number of endowed chairs of any Bowdoin president, including 4 new chairs whose work focuses on race, racism, and racial justice. You have pressed all divisions of the college as well as the Board of Trustees who support and guide us, to commit to actionable work to develop and sustain practices of inclusive excellence. Among many other things, under your leadership, the college has significantly increased access for low and middle income students through the expansion of need-blind financial aid, most recently extending that level of support and the depth of Bowdoin's global commitment to international students. You initiated and led the work to move beyond representational diversity and to articulate the need for every member of our community to gain a sense of belonging and equity of opportunity. To support these and so many other initiatives, including a commitment to more fully realize the power of liberal arts teaching and learning for the challenges of climate change in and beyond the Gulf of Maine, you embarked on, and we have nearly completed, the largest fundraising effort in Bowdoin College's history. Your gifts as a leader were nowhere more apparent than in your handling of the coronavirus pandemic. And it is impossible for many of us who are involved in the day-to-day deliberations and decisions to imagine a college president who could have provided more intelligent, judicious, steady, and caring leadership through this time. You drew on and respected the expertise of Bowdoin faculty and staff, appreciating the ways they understood their work and the challenges to it. You sought outside expertise and learned from others, but you never shied away from the gravity of responsibility you ultimately held for our students' education and for the health and safety of our community and our neighbors in Brunswick. Nor did you overlook the need to inject some lightheartedness, laughter, and as the pandemic permitted, fun into our efforts to get through those weighty days. You truly exemplify grace under pressure. Bowdoin College Board Chair Scott Perper, on behalf of the college, I am grateful for the opportunity to present Clayton Rose for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Clayton S. Rose, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Well, I've got mine, so let's get the heck out of here. Thank you. That means so much to me, I can't actually tell you that. I'm now very pleased to introduce our senior class president, Chung Xing, who will offer a few words.
Members of the Bowdoin community, President Rose, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, my fellow class of 2023 folks. Hello, hello. As we stand here, we are not just graduates, but individuals who have been fundamentally transformed. Through our experiences at Bowdoin, we have broadened our perspectives, deepened our understanding, and enriched our lives. Think back to when we set foot on the Bowdoin campus. I, for one, came in wide-eyed, convinced I was gonna be a STEM major. Well, Bowdoin had other ideas and presented me with a buffet of undiscovered dishes that I could never resist. It's just so good. Which almost made me forget what I initially wanted. As we sampled these offerings, we found our path diverging and evolving. For me, before I knew it, I was snapping photos like crazy, immersed in the world of art history and discovering a passion for entrepreneurship during a summer intern, led by 2 Bowdoin alumni, connected through the CXD office and supported by the Marsh Family Fund. Even track and field, which I thought I knew kind of well, turned into a transformative journey. My teammates and coaches opened my eyes to the fact that it wasn't just about how many feet I could long jump, it was about fostering the sense of a team, a family, that keep us going when the finish line seems just miles away, developing the resilience to push past the toughest moments, and growing into a captain who can inspire a collective spirit and pass that spirit on to the future generations. Bowdoin, in its wisdom, has championed the belief that liberal arts education is not just about acing a major or spending late nights in HR firms then migrating to Smith. Although that can be necessary, it's about learning to see the world through different lenses, finding connections between seemingly disparate fields, and discovering new passions. Yes, it might have led to some eccentric behaviors, like obsessively reading science journals to understand the chemistry of how to extract the perfect espresso shots. But it's a spirit of exploration that Bowdoin has instilled in us, one we shall carry into the future. As we are about to transition from current students to alumni, receiving our diplomas just in a few moments, let's reflect on the legacy left by the alumni who came before us. They've backed Bowdoin not only with their generous gifts, but also with their invaluable time, volunteering for offices such as admissions, alumni relations, annual giving, and CXD. Their contributions have enhanced our college experience, afforded us the opportunity to contribute to Bowdoin's ever-evolving legacy. Now, as we prepare to step into their shoes, we shall carry the responsibility of continuing this spirit. It's our turn to give back, just as they did for us. Let's keep this legacy alive, extending the tradition of generosity and giving, and in doing so, create opportunities for the generations that will follow. As we make this commitment, we ensure that the spirit of Bowdoin is upheld today, tomorrow, and always. Class of 2023, cheers, cheers.
Yikes. We ready? All right. Candidati pro gradu baccalaureale assurgite. Vir enerandas, osque uvenes coscensio idoneos primum ad gradum in artibus, nunc tibi afero, uta te instructus, eos ad grandum istum admittum. Placet ne?
Placet.
Pro auctore tate mihi commissa, admitto vos ad primum gradum in artibus, et dono et concedo omnia iura, privilegia honoris atque dignitates ad gradum istum pertinentia. In cuius testimonium asque membranas litteras scriptas accipite.
William Cooper Ackerman III. Dominic Vincent Akista. Sophia E. Adami Sampson. Amarine Ruth Adodo. Paloma Aguirre. Yasin Muhammad Ahmed. Tabarak Al-Musawi. Ala Alatiat. Evan Luke Albers. Joseph Oakton Alexander. Abby Marjorie Allen. Benjamin Bryce Allen. John James Almanza. Nicholas David Whipple Anastas. Tatum Ngati. Shane Mendez Aruju. Boris Artemisov. Lily Mae Armstrong. Alexandra Elizabeth Arndt. Elmira Catherine Arnold. John Dowling Auer. Patrick Dreyer Alt. Minseo Bay. Brian Barbecho. Sophie Jane Barber. Daniel J. Bardsley. Catherine Alexandra Barrett. Luke Gerard Moss Bartol. Delaney Elizabeth Bashaw. Andrew Bastone. Gabriel Batista. Evan Mark Bay. Lilo Libby Bean. Victoria Shea Beck. Sophie Laura Bell. Clara Megan Benedon. Helena Elizabeth Bennett. Abigail Priya Bennett. Finn A. Berquist in absentia. Jareli Bernal. Alexander Burney. Katie Rita Berry. Cleo Vincenza Bersani in absentia. Cameron John Berube. Param Monier Black. Kimia Pox Blakely. Clementine Blaschke. Anne Melissa Boasberg. Greta Henryson Bollinger. Emma Arlie Bomfeem. Philip Carl Bonanno III. Sydney Marie Bonato. Ariana Nadja Bow. Catherine Johnson Bowman. Allison Jean Britt. Irene Kabnick Brogdon. Olivia Bronzo Munich. Benjamin Joseph Brown. Christopher Patrick Brown. Jamie Lee Brown. Jeremiah William Brown. Sophie Knight Brown. Fiona Catherine Bundy. Sophie Paige Burchell. Sydney Grace Burton. Fabian Cleviandra Basnawi. Weirin Busaban. Jason Jeremy Busgang. Danny Finneran Calder. Jack Richard Callahan. David Allen Calcidius. John Colin Campbell III. Kadarius Campbell. Luis Fernando Cano Vasquez. Aura Lee Carlson in absentia. Sebastian Carranza Betancourt. Grace Carrier. Thais Carrillo. Kennedy Camille Carter. Blythe Gordon Chase. Jonathan Sebastian Chance. Maya Y. Chunter Kuba. Yoon Xiang Chang. Yu San Chia in absentia. Selena Chin. Crystal Chong. Renee Sebastian Cisneros Estrada. Jonathan Clark. Sarah Elizabeth Clark. Gretchen Murphy Klaus. Jean Nicholas Clemente. Maddie L. Conlon. Anna Gray Constantine. Evan J. Coons. Harry Wagner Cooper. Isaac Stone Cooper. Madeline Marie Corsetti. Caleb Bennett Cost in absentia. Sydney Alonwi Cox. Jackson Cornell Coyle. Jade Charlotte Cromwell. Grace Emery Cross. Catherine Ann Crouch. Saul Cuevas Lenderos. Gabriel Alexander Quilon. Theo Bryce Curran. Cobra Zen Curtis. Stephanie Marie Daly. Emily Rizcala Davis. Enrico Marecci Grangi. Tiffany Delgado. Rory Main Devlin. Eric Diaz. Lucas John DeCerbo. Carly Elizabeth Dixon in absentia. Angus Edward Dillon in absentia. Garrett Justice Dixon. Alexandra Mary Dougal. Charlotte Ann Dowdy. Eva May Dowd in absentia. Meredith Ein Dowling Wolf. Kaylin Vanessa Duarte. Bradford Stone Dudley. Elizabeth Kessler Dudley. James Xavier Duffy. Katrina Ann Dukart. Inez Dushime. Jordi Felique Dushime. Julia Lauren Duval. Morgan Keller Edwards in absentia. Song Ero. Dodie Estemfield. Shayla Christine Eubanks. Sarah Waldrop Evans. Madison Louise Fairfield. Willem Hawkins Federico. Merlene Rianne Firo. Catherine Grace Feigl. Esther Altagracia Fernandez Rosario. Kevin Jair Fleshman. Zachary Douglas Flood. Stephen Raymond Flynn. Evan Desmond Fortier. Madison Gray Fozo. Tessa Amelia Frank. Margaret Ruth Frederick. Max Abraham Friedman. Seamus Fry. Chris Frubies. Ted Fuel. Shannon Ryan Gallagher. Christopher Keith Galley. Francesca Lila Garces. Kenneth Garcia. Maria Garcia. Ella Catherine Garnett. Jack Garza. Martha Gabeyu. Ari Stephen Geisler. Isaac Pohorilis Gelb. Yordana Vladimirova Gerjakova. Suad Grebe. Charlotte Elizabeth Gifford. Logan Page Gillis. James Andrew Giltner. Isabel Gisser. Caroline Jane Glazer. Jane Lauren Godner. Renata Gonzalez Chong. Abby Stewart Hotkitch Gordy. Sawyer Cook Goldman. Emily Faith Grandpierre. Isabella Jane Grimaldi. Anna Brady Gunther. Ivana Gutierrez. Esteban Nicholas Guzman Hijón. Holden Hadfield. Anthony Petrozelli Hale. Andrew Hall. Maya Hall. Francis Sophia Hamby. Jackson David Lakowski Hansen. Emma Michelle Hargraves. Aminata Kai Harley. Ella Beatrice Haugen. Kyle Adam Hawley. Benjamin William Heinrich. Molly Sperry Henderson. Gerardo Hernandez. Isaiah Marcel Hernandez. Emily Grace Herndon. Lorenzo David Alberto Hess. Maya Simone Savage Hirsch. Zachary Joseph Hobbs. Jada Hodge Adams. Andrew Michael Hofer. Dava Kimberly Holloman. Abraham Hollis. Thomas Hornbeck. Hafsa Hossein. Chloe Jean Howe. Drew Decker Humphreys. Amy Marie Hussey. Amina Ibn Yusuf. Samira Iqbal. Khalil Jackson. Julia Marie Jennings. Caroline Hadley Jevin. Lucas Alexander Johnson. Coltrane Dejan Joseph. Abby Kasel. Davin Singh Kanwal. Sophia Helena Karras. Isaac Elio Bittencourt Katz. Sela Griffin Kay. Hayden Keene. Nathaniel Sessions Kelsey. Peter Edward Kennerson. Zubin J. Kenkri. Notanda Victoria Kumalo. Charles Sunjin Kim. Dae Kyo Kim in absentia. Ethan Douglas Kimball. Catherine Elizabeth King. Benjamin Christopher Christie. Grace Elizabeth Kirkpatrick. Malcolm Alexander Kate. Leah Francis Cornmell. Armand Kotari in absentia. Ryan Scott Kavarovics. Claudia Louise Kriz. Brandon C. Krupp in absentia. Scott C. Kunle in absentia. Sam Parker Lackritz. Colin Edward Lamphere. James M. Laura. Leslie Sinclair Stark Liddell. Anna Camille Leitner. Sean Edward Lee. Arturo Lennon Martinez. Trent David Lipset. Sophia Levi Lyle. Peter A. Littman. Tony Liu. Connor Michael Lloyd. Juntao Liu. Bjorn Alexander Ludwig. Sarah Lerman. Christopher Ridgely Lukens. Roland Lua. Hao Lee. Julia Bauer Churchill Line. Charlotte Hadley Mayrov. Paul Ferrand Magot. Anne Nicolaides Mahoney. Cassandra Quinn Maroney. Danielle Shalon Marquez. Connor Mars. Elise Marielle Martin. Mitchie Martinez. Owen McGinn Marvin. Ben James Matthews. Kenya Brienne Matthew. Elizabeth Joy Matsiko. Ellie Ginn Moss. Angelina Isabel Mayers. Leighton Mayers. Leaf Poe Mitzel Maynard. Thomas Michael Mizuki. Colleen Hughes McAloon. Thomas Fox McAvoy. Finian Henry Clark McGannon. Joseph Hugh McGinn III. Ryland Pearson McGinn. Angela Mary McKenzie. Mariah Noelani McKenzie. Ethan Drake McLear. Liam Kevin Coluccio McNett. Allison Nicole Mead. Kana Thais Macias Quinones. Jose Alexander Mello. Maricel Marilari. Andrew James Merrill. Nicholas David Merrill. Natsumi Lynn Meyer. Isabel Ray Miller. Elijah Steele Miller Wilson. Perrin Edgar Milliken. Megan Elizabeth Miranda. Lynn Stephanie Miranda Portillo. Francesca De Soto Moniz. Annika Rudden Moore. Jose Manuel Mota Jr. Peyton Higgins Mulhern. Alexis Avery Mullen. Tara Marie Dial Mullen. Sarah Munoru. Bobby Murray. William Thomas Murtaugh in absentia. Patuel Giselan Mutalenu. Kelly Nicole Navarro Yepes. Rachel E. Nealon. Bonnie Ann Nelson. Margot Adeline Thamang Nyo. Ni Lon Nguyen. Lamona Youngdroa Nyo. Emma Straw Noel. Rebecca Norden Bright. Charlie O'Brien. Quiverleen Ochieng. Ethan Patrick O'Connor. George Chapman Odlum in absentia. Kina Sarah O'Flaherty. Christiana Igioma Okafor. Jack Thomas Alcott. Ajay Lawrence Olson. Ayana Ray Opong Nantachi. Drew Benjamin Ortiz. Lucia Marie O'Sullivan. Brian O. Zane Lewis Garrett Padamsi. Catherine Grace Padilla. Frank Matthews Payne. Carly Nicole Pilata. Alexander Peter Papanikolaou. Esther Unsaw Park. Ryan Park. Jermoya Kayana Parkinson. Josh Pablo Manish Patel. Kashali N. Patel. Bridget Marjorie Patterson. Joseph McCaffrey Paul. Rachel Logan Peacock. Robert James Pearl II. Eduardo Azil Perez. Matthew Regas Perez. Alec William Perez Albuerne. Blythe Lee Peterson. Isabel Stella Petropoulos. Alexandria Jolie Pizzino. Luke Edwin Porter. Rachel J. Potiker. Charles Prusi. Anastasia Elizabeth Grace Pruitt in absentia. Anne Fitzgerald Pine. Audrey Piper. Isabella de la Luz Quintana. Chloe Simone Rains. Fiona Grace Ralph. Ajasri Ramanani. Lily Claire Randall. Manav Randawa. John Lewis Riccuti. Catherine Zwin Comerford Reed. Katrina Marie Reedy. Hannah Reif. Jack Rudolph Riley. Eliza Miller Ree. Marcus Davi Ribeiro. Mickey Ann Ryerson. Violet Louise Rosari. Jenna Claire Robbins. Anna Roberts. Eliana Roberts. Jake Tyler Robertson. Jana Marsha Robotham. Patrick Thomas Rochford. Valeric Rumi. Andrew Rauter. George Whitney Rowe. Elijah Dacones Rowland. Joseph Michael Rupseman. Paul Russo. Ren Evelyn Sablich. Gail Maria Saez Hall. Sarah Isabel Salazar. Ibrahim Sela. Safa Sela. Safa Salman. Edwin Sanchez Huizar. Raul Sandoval Flores. Colby Silva Santana. Matthew Saveliev. Sophia Veda Schaefer. Ella Marie Schmidt. Corey Schmolka. Noah Henning Schumann. Brandon Robert Schuster. Jada Amber Scotland. Harley Scott. Jacqueline Teresa Seddon. Augustin Manalili Seger. John Leland Sider. Jack Shea. Robert Allen Shepard. Jillian Claire Scher. Lucas Francis Xavier Sheridan. Siona Vermani Sidhu. William Robert Sylvia. Pranay Veer Singh. Laura Elizabeth Skasel. Ian Lev Small. Elliot Ray Small. Amanda Grace Smith. Lily Caroline Smith. Nicholas Patrick Smith. Luna Anna Hoffman Soley. Henry Balderston Summerby. JC Wenru Song. Henry Chapman Spritz. Hunter Roman Steele. Jacob William Sternberg Scher. Blaine Brovner Stevens. Zoe Nokomis Stilfin. Ramiro Storney. Eliza Browning Strout. Ryan James Supple. Lou Seidel in absentia. Benjamin Tate Tazak. Kira Minyi Tan. Colin William Tardio. Cloting Crawford Tarleton. Christoph Anders Tagenhorst. Sujata Eden Tuari. Tanner Johnson Thomas. Peter Jin Tomhave. Suleiman Ali Toure. Peyton Elizabeth Sylvia Tran. Karis Newberger Treadwell. Layla Miriam Trummel. Thomas Wilder Trundy. Isabella Ana Tucci. Diego Z. Turturro. Matthew Robert Hewick. Everin Uras. Jane Lillian Urcioli. Cole Michael Van Miltenberg. Miranda Jane Viederman. Jenny Elizabeth Wadawa. Yoki Wallace. William Buck Paul Walsh. James Campbell Walters. Abby Wong. Jinyi Wong. Reed Christian Gow Warburton. Brendan Patrick Ward. Charles Forrester Littlefield Ward, Jr. Albert Anthony Washko. Lily Rowan Weefer. Hayden Robert Weatherall. Michael Alexander Weber in absentia. Sophia Way. Margaret Elizabeth Weinstock. John McDermott Welschlager. Xander Workman. Bennett Connor Wheaton in absentia. Madeline White. Patrick White. Ellie Bond Whitmore. Diana Elizabeth Wickersham. Carl Joseph Leftwich Williams. Maya Hope Williams in absentia. Paris Wilson. Zoe Ellis Wilson. Mason Goodspeed Roebuck Winter. Ethan T. Winters. J.T. Woolley. Chung Jiang. Tianyi Shu. Noya Young. Dia Reichma Yakub. Kirsten Yip. Milo Young Perez. Conger Zhang. Deji Zhen. Wanchuang Zheng. Ian Mailing Zog. Angus James Zuckley.
Let's give it up for the class of 2023. So Julianne would find this fitting, but my last official remarks are about lunch. And I will be followed here by Jean, but as a reminder, following this ceremony, there is lunch for everyone at Farley Fieldhouse. If you didn't get your fill last night, you will at lunch today. Sorry. Jean just said to me, "Where is the singing?" And she's right. So I'd like to now invite our senior class singers back to the stage to lead us in the singing of the alma mater. You'll find the words on the back of your program, and I would ask those who are able to please stand. Thank you, Jean.
Will guests please remain at their seats until the recessional march has passed? The 218th Commencement of Bowdoin College has now concluded.